Okay. Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we would like to we from uh, group one will like to present about tank culture. So I'm Nushahira. My group member are Dini, Shakira, Siti Khalijah, Siti Nuramira dan Nuraisha Atira. Okay. Uh, okay. Introduction. For the tank basically is use enclosed system. It is durable and portable. It can be moved and it easy to clean, easy to sterilize for the what you call fry, and tank also affordable. Okay, and then for the tank culture, it is a good alternative to pond or cage culture if sufficient water or land is not available. If you don't have enough space or enough land, so we can use a tank to rear fish. So tank basically use intensive tank culture. It is intensive system which are high stocking rate, uh, greater dependence on commercial feed, where we buy not depends on the fish to find uh, its the fish to find her its own feeds. And then it is use high technology which is automated feeding, so use aeration and H2O purification. So experimental parameter, the what you call uh, are easily controlled. So the tank use high level investment and can get a high yield. Okay, example of fish used in tank culture is tilapia or keli. So next, the first one is we go to the type of tank. We have wooden tank, concrete tank, plastic tank, fiberglass tank, metal tank, and glass tank. So for the wooden tank, uh, it is light in weight. They are cheap, easy to work with. So basically, it use plywood. So before that, the plywood must be painted to protect the wood, and the paint cannot contain lead because it can live in water, so it can affect the fish. So the interior of the tank should be covered with non-toxic material such as epoxy or fiberglass resin paint. See, next we go for the concrete tank. Concrete is used for large tank or pool, so it large scale. Basically, people use concrete tank. So tank can also be made from granite, which is cement, that are strong, durable, compact, but more expensive. So a bit expensive. So before we build the concrete tank, it must properly reinforced with steel bar to last longer. And then concrete is best used to construct permanent facilities because it's weight and expense. Okay, for the plastic tank, uh, plastic include polypropylene, polyethylene, and polyvinyl chloride (PVC). So this tank is really lightweight, movable, and portable. So to repair, they are easy and can be made in a various shape and size, which can be explained later. And most plastic that they use are non-toxic. Okay, and lastly is fiberglass tank. So fiberglass is lightweight, strong, and durable. So, but it is modestly priced and inner in both fresh and salt water can be used for fresh or salt water. So it is also can withstand the effects of UV rays if used outdoors. So it is easy clean and disinfected, and the tank can be easily drilled to install drains and fixture. Next, Aisha.
Okay, then I will
present about different use of tank. In aquaculture, there are four common shape that use of tank, which is circular tank, square, rectangular tank, and oval tank. Next slide. Next. Okay. This is five. This is five common use of tank. First is for fry production. Second is temporary holding facility for fingerlings and broodstock. The third one is food fish ready for sale. And the fourth one is aquarium fish production. And the last one is public display aquaria. Next one. Next slide. Wait, internet. Uh, okay. Uh, this is a circular tank. Circular tanks are commonly used for nursery and grow out, especially for food fish production. Circular tank is simple to maintain and it's also allow operating over wide range of rotational velocity, which is its function for self-cleaning water, attribute for swimming fish, and give function in better oxygen mixing in the tank. And in circular tank also, waste can be rapidly flushed through center of the drain. As you can see at the picture on the slide, the first picture, there are drains for waste out. And the last is it's designed to allow visual or automatic observations of waste feed. Next. Then we move to rectangular tank and square tank. Rectangular tank and square tank is commonly used for fish farming and fish keeping. It can be used in outdoor or indoor for fish farming. It's also usually used for shrimp breeding and fry hatchery fish aquaculture. Sometimes it's also be used for rainwater collections and water storage. It's also be used for waste collections. It is an efficient use of space and low cost of construction. Sometimes shape was rounded at the corner. It's to improve the hydraulic and flow pattern of water. The disadvantage of this tank is the waste tend to collect in the corner of the tank. Next. Okay, the last one was the oval tank. The oval tank can be found in intensive indoor and outdoor farming. Uh, it have the function of self-cleaning actions of circular tank, and it have advanced aeration technology that can be applied, and it's what efficient use of water. Thank you.
Okay, next. So, as a for tank, there are many types of different. There are many types of system that can be used in the tank. One of that is flow through system. So I will explain about flow through system briefly. Next. So what is a flow through system? Actually, flow through system is types of intensive culture where the fish are stored densely in a long and narrow pond or tank in which there is abundant continuous water flow. Um, Water for flow through facilities is usually diverted from stream, springs, artesians well to flow through the farm by the gravity, which mean dalam flow through system kita ada sistem ni, sistem kita menggunakan sistem tank. Tapi dalam sistem ni dia arus keluar masuk. Arus keluar masuk dekat sini maksud ada air masuk dan keluar dari sungai, tasik dan sebagainya. Okey, air yang masuk dan keluar ni, bila air tu masuk dan dia nak masuk ke kolam kita, lepas tu nak lepas keluar ke sungai, dia kena treat dulu sebab dalam air tu, air yang kita nak buang tu ada makanan ikan, ada tinja ikan. So it will affect the water. Dia akan affect kandungan amonia dalam air tu. So before kita buang air tu dulu, kita kena treat water tu dulu. Okay, next. Okay, this is the commonly used in production of filter system. Okay, cool fish water and warm fish water. For cool fish water such as brook trouts, rainbow trouts, brown trouts and salmon, and for warm fish water such as tilapia and catfish. Okay, next. Okay, as for flow through system, there are two types, which is conventional and intensive flow through system. For conventional flow through system, the oxygen requirement of the fish is supplied by the water inflow water. The water flow rate that is needed for proper oxygen supplies of the fish usually is larger than is required for flushing the metabolic waste. As for intensive flow system, an aerator is used to supply additional oxygen for the fish and be designed in order to increase the stocking density or to decrease the water flow. Okay, next.
Alright, next is the fundamental of the design of flow-through system. Okay, the design must allow the maintenance of flow patterns to maintain the safe cleaning action, and also the second one is to minimize risk of blockage. Next is the water inlet can be designed to facilitate the aeration of inlet water through the use of jets and diffusers. And the last one is water outlet must also make the provision to regulate operating depth of the tank. Okay, the water pumping system. Since the flow-through system are dependent upon large quantities of water, the design of the pumping system is critical in their design. So the required quantity of water in the tank must be determined according to the calculation that I've shown here. So, okay, the V is the water velocity. To keep the water velocity below the certain level, a certain value, so that we can avoid the fish from getting stressed and avoid energy waste of the fish and the wash away of the food particles. While certain minimum water velocity should be exceeded in order to keep the waste materials in suspension. So as you can see here, the tank water depth, which is the D, we can keep it constant in order to make the to fulfill the equation, so that we can get each value for the water velocity and the other value. So next. Okay, the tank design. Okay, first, the size and the shape of the tank design. The tanks for culturing a fish can be different size and shape, as long as they can allow for the effective removal of waste solid. So the tank can be according to the size of fish that they want to below. So next is material. So seperti yang telah dijelaskan sebelum ni, ada banyak materials, contohnya woods, concrete, plastic, fiberglass, metal and glass. So next is additional equipment for the tank design, which is should be equipped with properly designed water control structure. For example, we can install a safety device as well as that give alarm signal when the water flow or the water level decreases below a certain level. So kita tahu bila water level tu drops, waktu tu kita perlu tambah ais untuk ikan dalam tangki. Yang ketiga adalah provide emergency apparatus with high efficiency when occur oxygen depletion. Next, provide different automatic feeders, self-moving food dispenser or demand feeders sebagai backup jika berlaku apa-apa dalam tangki. Dan yang terakhir, grading. Grading ni perlu pada peringkat akhir di mana kita nak grade ikan tu untuk tujuan seterusnya lah. Okay, itu saja. Next.
Right. So we move to the raceway. Right, next slide. Firstly, what is raceway? Raceway is actually it's also known as a flow-through system. Is an artificial channel used in aquaculture to culture an aquatic organism. Raceway system are among the earliest methods used for inland aquaculture. A raceway usually consists a rectangle basins of canals. So mostly it's allow animals to be cultured at higher densities with the raceway. The most important factor for selecting site for raceway farm is water supply. Why? Because it keeps a constant temperature, while catfish and a trout flow at about 50 liters per second for every 0.4 hectares of raceway. Why I say that it is because it is as a backup for the water supply should be positioned. So if the water supply fails or pump fails, it can flow by the gravity into the start of raceway. So I think that's all for a short introduction of raceway. So we move to the next presenter. Oh, sorry. One more. Raceway also used for some marine species which need a constant water flow, such as juvenile salmon, breakfish water sea bass, sea bream, and abalone. Alright, that's all.
Okay, so for ratio advantage and disadvantage, we move to the advantage first. Okay, for the first point is higher production per space. Okay, higher production per space can be achieved because raceway have higher stocking density. That means a large quantity of fish can be located in one raceway compared to other systems. This will lead to higher production fish per space. Okay, next is the second is greater ability to observe fish. Okay, since raceway depth is quite shallow, farmers can see clearly fishes in the raceway. For example, farmers can see and monitor fishes' feed and fishes' health. This can make feeding more efficient, and disease problems are easier to detect at earlier stage. If disease signs are observed, disease treatment can be done earlier. The third one is allow closer monitoring of growth and mortality and better inventory estimates.
For examples, management inputs such as size gradings are more practicable in raceway than they are in ponds, or and harvesting is easier, and it is more easier to do counting on stock since the raceway depth is shallow. So for the disadvantage, the first one is need for large constant flows of consistent and high quality water. Okay. Since such resources are not common, it is hard to find a source that have consistent and high quality water. Locating and securing proper water supply is a major consideration for farmers. Okay, the second one is release of effluents. Okay, effluent is a liquid waste or sewage that is discharged into river or sea. Okay, the treatment of wastewater has been a major concern. For example, for fish fecals and uneaten feed is major elements of solid water for use. Because raceway discharge release in large volume of water, the concentration of discharge solids low, and it is not easy to treat the water. I think that's all for our presentation today. Thank you.